And we have people like Jim Jordan, a congressman from Ohio, who wants to argue with Anthony Fauci about these restrictive moves. They're not designed to restrict people, you dumb asshole Jordan. They're designed to restrict the spread of the virus. But when you have moronic, half-witted people like Jim Jordan, who has no problem covering up what he sees as sexual abuse of athletes at Ohio State University, and then the scum gets elected to the Congress of the United States, figures out he's going to have his brand, and his brand will be, here I am with no sport coat or suit jacket on. You'll notice me, I'm always in a white shirt, sometimes with the sleeves rolled up, sometimes not. I'll get to that in a second. Jesus, I get angry. Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, was involved in some sort of an exchange with this filthy, goddamn stupid Jim Jordan, this representative from Ohio, this sexual abuse covering up thug. And the argument that Jordan tried to pick with Fauci was, when will Americans see their pandemic-related restrictions lifted? Only that's not how Jim Jordan put it. This is what he said to Anthony Fauci during this testimony. Quote, when do Americans get their freedom back? Their freedom back. You stupid son of a bitch, Jordan. Fauci began to respond that will happen, quote, when we get the level of infection in this country low enough. And Jordan immediately interrupted, like the dumb bastard always does. What's low enough? Give me a number. Give me a number. What measure? What standard? What objective outcome do we have to reach before Americans get their liberty and freedoms back? Liberty and freedoms. These people are so goddamn crazy, I no longer have the vocabulary to try to put it into words. People like Jim Jordan and the anti-vaxxers and all of these Trump pigs that are just roaming this country, roaming the halls of Congress, trying to destroy this republic. Fauci answered, quote, my message, Congressman Jordan, is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as we possibly can to get the level of infection low so that it's no longer a threat. That's when. And then Fauci added, you're indicating liberty and freedom. I look at it as a public health measure to prevent people from dying or going to the hospital. My emphasis there, of course. So then the little prick Jim Jordan pointed to restrictions, including, here it comes, curbed attendance in places of worship. Fauci answered, we're not talking about liberties. We're talking about a pandemic that has killed 560,000 Americans. End quote. And then the little bastard from Ohio, the shirt sleeve wearing little prick Jim Jordan said, quote, well, I don't disagree with that. And I understand how serious that is, but I also said it's pretty serious when businesses have been shut down and people can't go to church and people can't assemble in their own homes with their friends, with their families. People can't go to a loved one's funeral. End quote. The sexual abuse covering up asshole Jim Jordan. People can't go to houses of worship. They can't go to church. You miserable son of a bitch, Jordan. You wouldn't know church from a goddamn bowling alley. You want to pray? Go pray. Do what your Jesus told you to do, you stupid shit. But I digress, and I'm getting too volatile with the language. I'll back down a little bit, okay? Okay, in response to later questioning of Dr. Fauci from Representative Carolyn Maloney, a Democrat, about what behavior will lead to the end of the pandemic, Fauci answered, quote, when the vaccine protection takes over, then you could have a gradual diminution of those types of guideline restrictions, which everyone would like to get rid of, not only Congressman Jordan, end quote. And then later in the same hearing, this dumb shit Jim Jordan again asked Dr. Fauci for, quote, a specific measurement that will have to be attained, end quote. So Fauci, who apparently does suffer fools to a degree that I would consider gladly, but he's a scientist, and he knows he's dealing with fucking psychos like Jim Jordan, and Fauci, bless his heart, doesn't lose his temper like I do. This is what Fauci said in response to the latest little bullet of bullshit that came from Jim Jordan. Fauci said, quote, well, if I have a number, it would have to be my best estimate, and that would be that the number of infections per day are well below 10,000. At that point, and up to that point, there would be a gradual pulling back of some of the restrictions you're talking about, end quote. And later in the same testimony, Fauci said that scientific projections suggest that, quote, the overwhelming majority of people in the country may be vaccinated sometime in the beginning to middle of this summer. Fauci added, quote, the reason I can't give you a precise number is because I'm not 100% sure how many people will want to be vaccinated, end quote. Unbelievable. This is what public health has to deal with. A population that is infected by two viruses, the COVID-19 virus and this violent Christian fascist horseshit perpetrated at the beginning by a thug bastard named Donald Trump and now carried on by his minions in the U.S. Congress who continue to do this insane shit, whether it's about the election results, the pandemic, this, that, the other thing. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.